Rodtang Jitmuangnon is out of his fight with Takeru Segawa at 165, and Superlek, the man they always call on for things like this, the kicking machine, of course, has stepped up to the plate to step in, and we have a new main event for 165. Now, of course, if you follow along on social media and things like that, this has kind of been rumoured for a week or so, if not longer. There's been rumours that Rodtang had an injury to his hand for quite a while. You know, he was kind of he wasn't really showing it in social media posts, and in interviews it was like out of frame and things, so people were kind of wondering whether he had an injury, whether they were hoping he was going to be able to push through it and be okay by fight night, things like that. And then in the last like week or so, that really started to pick up with rumors that Superlek was going to be stepping in. And then I believe yesterday Superlek actually said that he was going to be in Japan, and that kind of confirmed it already. I know that Takeru in the last like week has been saying that, you know, he's still confident that Rodtang was going to fight him on that date and stuff like that. So it's been a strange, you know, week for this fight, because it seemed like everything was pointing towards this happening, but Takeru didn't seem to know anything about it. It was very, very strange. But now we have it confirmed. It will be Superlek versus Takeru, main event of 1165 at the Ariake Arena in Tokyo, and it will be for the one Flyweight Kickboxing World Championship. Of course, Takeru was originally going to fight Rodtang in kickboxing. So I think if you're going to fight Superlek, you might as well put the belt on the line. I think that's what people want to see anyway. Takeru did put a post out announcing this. He said that my opponent for my one debut at January 28th, Rodtang, has been cancelled and changed to Superlek, and I'm going to fight for the one world championship. I paraphrase that a little bit, but I've been preparing to fight Rodtang for a long time and sacrificed many things for this fight, so I was shocked and disappointed, but I'm now excited to face Superlek and fight for the world title for my one debut. I will win, show the world I'm the best of the best and who is the king. Thank you for the love and support, and keep your eyes on me. January 28th, I will be world champion for sure. Now, am I disappointed at Rodtang pulling out of the fight and us not getting that one? Yes. Whilst I think that Superlek versus Takeru is an equally incredible fight, this, you could say the same about the clash between Rodtang and Superlek at One Friday Fights 34. You'd see, I think from personal experience, one of the platforms that I am massively involved in, Violent Money, we put out a poll to be like, who's going to win this fight, and it's massively skewed towards Rodtang. And I think a lot of the people who have watched Superlek over the years had him as the favourite in that fight, if not very close. So you can't underestimate how big a name Rodtang is in terms of pulling eyes on to this fight. And whilst Takeru is a huge star in Japan, and I think Superlek's name has definitely increased since that Rodtang fight that was absolutely incredible in 2023, this doesn't have the same magnitude to it for me. But then also, I can flip that on its head and say, well, Takeru is fighting for a world championship in his one debut, so that's a big deal. Is it as big of a deal as him taking on Rodtang? No. I think the image of just seeing him and Rodtang share that space together would have been incredible. Again, the fight itself, I'm still super excited. I think that this is still one of the best matchups you can make in the promotion, right? This is the benefit of having both Rodtang and Superlek on your roster, that if one of them can't make it and the other one can, you've still got an incredible fight. So I don't want to downplay this and be too down on it. I am disappointed we're not getting the Rodtang fight. I hope we do see that maybe later on down the year, something like that. I don't know how long Rodtang is going to need to be out for, and obviously depending on how this fight goes, we'll see what happens with everybody involved. But I would still love to see the Rodtang fight. But this is still an incredible matchup. Superlek, a lot of people will remember, he was actually scheduled to fight before this fight. He was going to be defending his flyweight title in the main event of One Fight Night 18 on January 13th until Elias Mahmoudi, his opponent, pulled out, which then opened up Superlek to be able to take this fight. I mean, to be honest, I think that even if he was scheduled to be facing Mahmoudi still, if Mahmoudi hadn't pulled out, they probably would have scrapped that fight in favour of putting Superlek into this main event. wait for my audio to catch up with me. There you go. I think that they still would have done that, to be honest, because obviously this is a much bigger fight. This is a huge chance for Superlek to share the circle with Takeru, and of course a huge return to Japan for one championship, this big card. And it has led, this card being so big has led to, you know, this one fight night card, which is coming up very, very soon, kind of, you know, going by the wayside a little bit. Of course, we just had Cade Rotolo announced as defending his lightweight submission grappling world championship. I have to remember what weight class he competes at for a minute. He's going to be facing Tommy Langaker in a rematch, which I'm very, very excited for, because Langaker, since their first contest last year, has gone away and done some incredible things. So I'm actually very, very interested in that rematch. I think that's one of the better submission grappling contests that one have put together, to be honest. In fact, it's one of the best ones. It's probably top 3. It's more exciting as a matchup since the first contest, even though that first contest wasn't that close, to be honest. That's the only thing that worries me. But, you know, Langaker has proved that he is legit and deserving of a rematch since then. So I'm excited for that one. But it's been announced for the Japan card, which leaves us with very, very little announced for this One Fight Night 18 card. Obviously, we had the main event scrapped, but even without that, you know, you had the Liam Harrison and John Lineker matchup that I was very, very excited for. That isn't happening. Liam Harrison needed more time off. I think he had a different injury maybe or something, but, you know, he's now talking about retirement and things like that. So you're not getting that fight. So I don't know what's happening with this One Fight Night 18 card. I would normally be making notes and stuff to do my preview and record it and put it out at the start of next week, but I don't really have anything to preview at the moment, so I don't know what's going to happen with that card. But it was always going to be a difficult position with having this Japan card follow it later on in the month, January 28th. But yeah, again, I don't want to be too down on this, because we are still getting, it's crazy, right? It's like, to compare it to the UFC, it was almost like when we found out we weren't going to be getting, you know, John Jones and Stipe Miocic, and instead we get Tom Aspinall and Sergey Pavlovich. It's like, well, I would have liked to have seen John Jones fight at Madison Square Garden and, you know, probably ride off into the sunset with a win over Stipe Miocic. Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Pavlovich is like a better fight in some ways. And Superlek versus Takeru, is it a better fight? I don't know. It's a different fight. It's hard to compare the two. I'm sure it will be incredible nonetheless. I just would have liked to have seen that moment of Rodtang welcoming Takeru into one championship after how long we've been talking about that fight. But still, Superlek versus Takeru is one of the best matchups of the year, so I'm still very excited. Drop a comment below what you think about this matchup. Who do you think takes it? Do you think this is a better fight than Rodtang versus Takeru? I'm really interested to see what people think. I think that a lot of people will say the Rodtang fight, just because, again, like I said, the profile that he brings, right? The Iron Man. But the kicking machine steps up to save the day once again. We do not deserve Superlek. My only concern is whether he will make the weight, because the flyweight limit for Superlek has been difficult in some recent fights. Of course, his fight with Rodtang was scheduled to be 5 rounds for the title, and then it was a 3-round non-title fight because he didn't make weight. So that's a big concern. But, you know, we won't dwell on that too much. Fingers crossed he can make the weight safely, and this fight will have no more chaos and controversy going into it, because I just want to see Takeru fight in one championship in Japan. That's all I'm asking for. It's not that hard. Right, thank you for checking out this video. I will see you very soon with a One Fight Night preview, maybe? I'll see you soon.